Hello, welcome to our Unanet tips and tricks segment. My name is Robin Zampella, and I'm going to be leading you through our tips and tricks today. Let's get started. We're going to start off first with browser shortcuts. Our first tip is to open new browser windows. So we've got a couple of ways to do this. The first way, as you see here on the screen, we can right-click on any dashboard name and select Open Link in a new tab. This is super helpful as you're going through and you're working in different areas of the system and you want to have different dashboards open. We also have a few other ways to do this. We can, on our keyboard, hit the Control key and click the mouse wheel, and then also hover over the dashboard and click the mouse wheel. Our next tip is on bookmarking a group of pages. So we've got our pages open, got our tabs open that we'd like to have open, and you can right-click on one of those tabs and select Bookmark All Tabs. You see that with the arrow there at the bottom of that pop-up menu. Another way to do this in Chrome is to click on the three dots in the upper right corner, select Bookmarks, and then Bookmark Open Pages. So a couple of ways to do that. So once we do that, we would name our new bookmark, whatever you'd like to name it, and click Save. So once we've created that, it's out there ready to go. We can access that through the menu. So you see we have our saved bookmark here, 11.0 group tabs. And when you click on that, you'll see the pages that are associated within that group. So if we want to click all of those pages, you would hold down your Control key while you select those items to keep that pop-up menu open, and then those will open right up for you. Our next trick to share with you, dragging and dropping files into Unanet. So this is available in many different areas within Unanet. We are looking at this from within the project notes. So I've gone into a project, open up that project profile from the notes on the left menu, and in the specific note, I went to the attachments section. And you can see I can drag the file over. And so it's kind of hovering over top of that choose file button, and then just release the mouse. And then you see on our bottom screenshot here that the file name is now available. Pretty cool. Right-clicking. Let's show some options for right-clicking in our browser shortcuts. So our example, we're going to take you to the help docs, which we can do from within Unanet. If you like, go to My Account and click on Help. Once we're in our current help documentation, we'll search for whatever we need. So in this case, searching for fiscal something or other. And you see my results there when I searched for fiscal. And now that I have what I need in my results, I can right-click on that fiscal period close in this case. And you will see a pop-up menu here, and we can copy link address or open this in a new tab, whatever you like. I can copy that link and send someone in an email that specific link because they had a question on fiscal period close. So they don't have to go try to find it themselves. We can help them out by sending that link specifically. Browser zooming. This is one of my favorite ones. I use it all the time. I do a lot of webinars and virtual showing my screen, and so that people don't have to strain their eyes, I zoom in, and usually I use the Control plus or minus to zoom in or out. You can also use Control and your mouse wheel to zoom in or out. I don't know if you've tried that one or not. And again, in Chrome, those three dots in the upper right corner, select the plus or minus there to zoom in or out. You see our 110% there. All right, lots of great browser shortcuts there. Let's move on to our searching shortcuts in Unanet. So again, this is available all throughout the system, what we're about to show you. We just happen to be in our projects list, but it will work in all of those other places where you need to find things, the wildcards that we're about to show you. So the first thing we want to show you is the percentage. So this is a wildcard, and you see we have our owning org of MyCo, and we put a percent sign in the project code. So that's going to bring up all of the project codes. We can also use the percent sign with a character string either before or after the percent sign. So in this case, again, we're in the project list and we have put in a C%. So this is going to retrieve all the projects that begin with a C. We can use the percent sign in the middle and have characters, before and or after, as you see here. In this case, my org code, I have C%1, and so that percent sign in the middle is a wildcard. So anything that begins with a C and ends with a 1 is going to be displayed in my results. We can also use a comma for our search shortcuts here. And again, we're in the project list down in our location field now. So if I have DC, comma, Florida, it's going to give me all of the values that match that criteria. Date searching, we have to fill in a lot of dates for our search criteria as we're reporting and posting and all of those good things. And so once again, we're showing you in a particular place, but these tips are used throughout the system. So for typing in your dates, if you like to type them in, you can type in the month and then a space and the day. You don't have to type in the year. Once you tab out of there, it's going to populate, so you don't have to type in absolutely everything. We also have this great calendar icon. So when you click on that calendar icon, you're going to pull up something that looks like this. And at the top, in the dark blue bar at the top where you see the month and the year, the single arrows will take you forward or backward 1 month. The double arrows are going to take you forward or backward 1 year. Okay? You also have the month drop down. So if you click on the little caret next to the March there, it's going to drop down and show you all the months, and then you would just select your day. We also have down at the bottom BOT, beginning of time, end of time, EOT, and today. So you could just easily click on any of those within that calendar icon. So that's all throughout the system. We also have other ways to help you search with our quick links. So in this particular example, we are on our home dashboard, and in 11.0, your home dashboard you can reach by clicking on the Unanet logo in the top left corner. And we are on the quick links menu on the left. You see we've got a lot of really helpful quick links here. One of my favorites is highlighted, that edit last project. So if you're doing a lot of work and keep coming back to doing something to this one project, you can easily just hit this quick link and go back in and keep working. Back to, we also have back to links available in the system. So when you are in a particular record, maybe a project record or a people record, or you're in a report, you have these back to links at the top and the bottom that'll take you right back to the list, so you don't have to navigate there over again. We also have right side links. So these are accessed by the question mark icon now on the right side of the screen. And you're going to see how to section, a tip section, and then custom links. So our how to, as you can see here, again, very helpful links on how to do very commonly used functions in the system. We have tips, and then the custom links can be anything that you want. They can be, shared reports. They can be links external to Unanet. So if you want to put a link to your payroll system or to your benefits administrator website, or, whatever makes sense to you, Google Maps, whatever you need, you can put your custom links in here as well. And then you would click the blue arrow to close the menu. Saved lists. I use this all the time. So here we are in the people area, the people dashboard, and on our search tab, I would like to save a list where I show all the roles. So I just put that, whatever criteria you want, that's my criteria. I'm going to check that box to show the roles. And then click the Save Criteria link, and then I can give that a name, whatever name makes sense to me, and I can put it on one or more dashboards. As you see here, I've selected, I'd just like to have this list of people by role, on my people dashboard, and then make sure you hit save. And then once you save that list, there it is on my people dashboard. It's down on my lists, and I can easily access that at any time. It's a real time saver for sure if you have things that you look at on a regular basis. Searching, once again, still in our searching segment of tips and tricks, the role descriptions. So if you're not exactly sure what a particular role does, if you have access to people, you can open up a particular person, go to the roles tab, and you'll see, every role that that person has. But if you're not sure exactly what that role does, the little blue bubble with an eye on it next to every single role, if you hover over that, you will see a brief description of what that role can do. So here you see our project manager manages project settings and has access to project reports. The Z prefix is very helpful in many cases. In this particular example, we're in expense types. And so we have an expense type that is maybe used by our executives or our accountants that we need, to complete operations, but we don't necessarily want people to have that super available. So we put that at the bottom of the list. It's still going to be out there, but it's going to drop to the bottom with that Z prefix. So that's going to help prevent it from being used by mistake. Finding a property setting. I don't know about you, but I can't remember exactly where every single property setting lies within each section. So I use this one a fair amount as well myself. So you can click on this view all property settings, of course, if you have the system administrator role and you're in admin properties. And once you click that, just use Control F on your keyboard to search for character string. In this case, we are searching for the word remit. And here we see it highlighted on the property settings. So now I know it's under the general section, the billing area of that general section in my properties. But if I want to edit that, I can just click Edit Property Settings, which will open it back up for editing, and then I can get in there and make whatever changes I need to make. Also, great easy tip if you are not sure what your license information is or you'd like a refresher, you can view the license information by going to My Account at the top right of the menu bar and select About. And this will show you the type of license you're using, the version, and so on. Some great searching tips there. Let's move on to reporting. So our first tip in reporting is saving a specific report as a bookmark. I hope that a lot of you, if you're not already using this one, that you take advantage of this tip because it's a really great one for commonly used reports. So in our example here, we are in reports, project summary reports, and we're on the project revenue and funding summary. And we would select whatever criteria we want, and we're going to save criteria as we saw a few moments ago and save that to our dashboard. And then we need to run that report. And when we run that report, it gives us a unique URL. You see we've highlighted there those unique characters at the end of the address, and then we would just follow our usual procedure to create a bookmark for that report specifically. My tip within a tip here is to maybe choose relative criteria, current month or current year to date or current fiscal year, so that it's all, you don't have to keep going in and changing the date criteria there. All right, next up on our reporting, the organization activity report. Very highly utilized within Unanet, our employees. We use this report a lot. So this is on a reports dashboard under the project reports time and expense only area. We see our detail reports for organization activity. And we can run that. In our case, we're just going to select an internal organization, whatever criteria here, and here you see all the information for that particular organization. We have it collapsed here on the screen, but you can see contacts and addresses, and then are the projects that belong to this organization. Remember too that in Unanet, anything in blue you can drill down into. So you see our project codes there in blue, you can drill down into, again, assuming you have the appropriate access to see everything on that project, or maybe only some of the things on that project. Configuring your dashboards. Here we're on our home dashboard, and you see the little gears there that we're pointing to on the screen. That is going to help us configure the dashboard. And so you can go in there and customize the layout, change the order of the charts and so forth. If you want to see things pending your approval at the top, you can do that. You can really customize it to your desired needs and whatever you like to see here. So those are on all of the dashboards. We're showing you the home dashboard right now. This is a great one, suppressing zeros. So we happen to be in our project periodic daily actuals report. And you see we've got a lot of data here, and we've got some numbers, but there's also, a lot of zeros in this particular report. And it looks a little bit cluttered to where we can't find the numbers. So we can suppress the zeros here. So in our criteria, there's a reporting option to suppress the zeros. And now you see when we run that report again, that it's much easier to read and much cleaner. So I love that option to suppress the zeros. All right, hopefully you got some tips and tricks there for reporting that you'll be able to use. We're going to go ahead and move on to the imports and exports section of our tips and tricks. So imports and exports. So once again, you're going to need the system administrator role to do your imports and exports. Our example here, so we are going to export a person file, and then we're going to use that export template as our import template. Okay, so in your import templates section of the exports, I know that sounds funny, but that's how it's laid out. We're going to select the person, and we're going to run the template and get our results. And once we get our results, we're going to download the file. And then what I do is I usually just delete every row except for maybe the top one, and I'll highlight that one to know that that's my old data. You can do this however makes sense for you, but you add in your new data here for your new hires, and then we can import that right into the system. So we would choose the person import, select our file. You see our other options there. We can drag and drop that file if we wanted to. And then, we have an error, another tip within a tip. So if you get some errors in your file, you can correct the errors and use Control R on your keyboard to re-import that without, again, navigating through the menus. Okay, so Control R, if you get an error, go fix the file, and just hit Control R. You'll get this pop-up that says, do you want to confirm that you want to do this again? And you say yes, and then we see green is good, and we used our export template as an import template. All right, projects. Let's get some project tips going. Using a project template. This is definitely recommended if you have a lot of projects that are very similar and you want to make sure that certain fields are always used. A great way to do that is the use of project templates. So on our project list, you can see our content production. The little hand is over the copy icon. So it hit that copy icon and it pops up, and you decide which attributes you want to bring over. Do you want to bring over all the people assignments? Great. If you don't, then uncheck that box. Very easy. So once we copy that, then we give it a new project code name. As you see, it's our template project, and possibly new owning and project orgs, and then likely want to keep that as inactive so nobody uses that by accident and makes any changes to it. The edit pencil and edit all. I love this one. So again, we're in the project area. We've opened up a project and we're looking at the task list, and all of our tasks are displayed. So if we want to edit a single task, obviously we just click the edit pencil for that one. But if you would like to edit all of them at once, maybe you want to change all of the dates or something, we can use that edit all pencil at the top. Now, what if I need other fields? I want to see my percent complete field or something like that. I can go back to my search criteria and update the column options, and then I can go in and I would have whatever fields I'm looking for are opened up here, and I'm able to edit all at the same time. Very, very handy. Estimate to complete updates by an employee. So the employee can do their own estimate to complete updates. So the employee has opened up their timesheet. You see that the line for customer to space station tour facilities is highlighted here. They would click on that magnifying glass, and if you hover over that, it says view project and enter ETC information. And once they do that, they get this pop-up, and you would check the box to update the ETC, and they'll be able to put in those hours there all by themselves. Project manager can go view that later. They can also do it for projects all at one time by using the ETC menu on the time dashboard. So when you click on the time dashboard link at the top, you'll get a menu, you click ETC, and then they could see all of their projects and update those kind of at the same time. All right, portfolio, our next section. Look at this guy. He's got a lot of projects he's managing. Let's help him out. All right, we are in our forecast people planner on the plan tab. So you can double click a single row to edit a person. So the pop-up for that person displays, and then you're able to edit those fields if we need to change, where the bill rate is coming from or something. We can do that here. We can also, in our forecast people planner, on the plan tab, double click in the grid on the column header. So once we do that, that pop-up displays, and those fields are editable for all plans for that day. We can also double click on the project task header. Same place, forecast people planner on the plan tab, and the pop-up displays, and then you can edit all plans for that particular date range. Very handy. Next up, our one button push. I hope a lot of you are already using this. If you're planning in Unanet, from our forecast people planner, so we have our criteria set, and we want to display in matrix and select the checkbox for projects and tasks. And then at the bottom of the plan tab, we have this assign button. So we've planned for all of our people, and now we want to make those assignments so that they can go start working. So we click that assign tab, and now you see a grid here, and we click that assign button at the top and save. So if there were several people here, you see we only happen to have one person, but if you got, many people, you can just assign them all with the push of a button. That's awesome. Managing at the task level. So this again is within our project profile, and on the profile tab down at the bottom you see that manage at task level selection. So this is optional, but if we choose to manage at the task level, it's also going to use the task level on your expense budgets and the people planner. So if it's not checked, then it won't do that. It'll manage at the project level. Okay, so here you see we are managing at the task level. So when I'm on my expense budgets menu, budgeting with the grid on the budget tab there, you will see the task column because we are managing at the task level. If we were not doing that, we wouldn't see that here. planning with FTE. So we can either plan with hours or FTE. So again, forecast people planner. And, we can select our criteria here. And right now we want to budget in FTEs. So now, again, we can use some of our other functionality, double click on the columns, and we can, adjust that for all plans, planning by FTE. Viewing the user setup for the prior period. So let's say I'm out here in my forecast people assigner, and I'm not really sure where to start assigning my folks. You see, I kind of have a blank slate here. But what I can do is I can back up on my criteria to the previous period where I know they had assignments. Now, if I back up my period, just one prior period, I can see my defaults there for, the cost element and the labor category. And so that gives me a little help as I'm assigning my folks. All right, our next tip is limiting expense types. So on the project, we are able to limit expense types or not if you don't want to. So if you don't limit them, they're all going to be available as you see here in the drop-down menu. If we did limit our expense types on the project, you'll see only those things that are allowed on the project available as we are planned in our expense planner here. All right, reviewing labor categories. So we're over here in our reports area, the project reports, the T&E section, periodic reports, and we are in the forecast report. And so we want to have enough annual periods to cover before and after dates of the project, and we'll select the checkbox you see there at the bottom to show labor categories. So now when I run that report, you can see that I have George has been a project manager for both 2019 and we've planned for or forecasted for him for 2020 to be a project manager as well. If he had changed, we would see 2 line items for him here. Expense budget changes. This is an awesome tip. I love this one. So in our forecast expense budgeter, we are on the budget tab within a project. And rather than updating this row for $1,000, I can add a new row and kind of give myself an audit trail. So you see, the system will allow you to put in negative numbers here. So I can decrease this by $500 and I can see that really, is an audit trail. So you can do positive or negative numbers here. So instead of changing the existing line, add a new line, and that is kind of your built-in audit trail. Utilization. This is a really important topic to many, many people. We are going to show you a helpful chart where you can drill in and see the details behind that. So we are on our reports dashboard in the people reports, time and expense section, and we're going to use our resource allocation bar chart. So for our criteria here, the reporting period, you want to pick appropriate for what you're trying to view or report on. And then down at the bottom where you see our second arrow there, you see the colors that we're using, and you can make these whatever you want. For our use today, where 0 to 49 is yellow, 50 to 100% utilized is green, and anything over 100% is in red because that person is overbooked. So let's see what that looks like when we run this bar chart. So here's our chart, and we can see we've got a lot of people, underutilized, and we've got a few people in that 51 to 100%, and we've got a few people that are overbooked. Now, when I hover over that red, you see it gives me a little summary, August 2019, 100% booked. So let me just click on that and drill in, and when I do that, I see the details behind that, and I see that who is red, and boy, that looks rough. Poor Clark, we're overworking him. We need to kind of make some adjustments there. But that's a really helpful report that can get you to the information very quickly. All right, on to our time section. Mobile timesheets. I hope everybody's using them. If you're not already using mobile timesheets, you can easily go to the quick links, remember those, on your home dashboard, and you can see the current timesheet mobile, copy that link address, and just email that to yourself and open it up on your phone. Now we'll see our mobile optimized timesheet and also the mobile enabled timesheet. We do recommend the mobile optimized timesheet as the recommended way of accessing and editing timesheets on mobile devices. So no excuses anymore for not getting your timesheets in, because you can do it on your mobile device. And we always have those with us, don't we? Autofill. Some people love this, some people not so much. I happen to love it. From your dashboard in your My Account in that upper right corner, select Preferences, and that will take you to your own profile. So when I do this, I see my profile, and on the Time tab, you can select the box to autofill timesheet. So what this means is that when you create a timesheet for the next pay period, the projects and tasks that were used in your current timesheet or the previous will populate. So you won't need to select them again. Just add in the hours. So they will populate with 0 hours, and you'll just add in if you use them. If you don't use them on that next timesheet, they'll drop off for the following one. Custom timesheet message. So you do need the system administrator role for this one. So in your admin properties, in your left menu under the time section, edit settings, you see here we can edit our timesheet page footer for salaried users or hourly users. Here, remember the company picnic is this Friday. Hope everyone goes to the picnic. We can, put whatever message in there you like and change that out as needed. You can also change your method of Unanet notifications to text if you like. So under the time dashboard or any dashboard, again, under My Account, select Preferences, and you see here on the Profile tab where it says Email, you can put in your information. Now there's a specific syntax that is needed for each carrier. Okay, so we have a Knowledge Center topic out there that is a quick topic sending Unanet notifications by text. So check that out, get the right syntax if you'd rather get notifications by text message. So now our kind of other things that maybe didn't fit nicely into one of those categories. First, we have the customer payment lookup invoice function. This is a great one. So in our financials, accounts receivable, customer payments, once we add a payment, you have a little plus sign there to look up invoices. So for our invoice lookup, once again, we're using our search criteria, our wildcards, to pull up whatever we need for, the payment that we got in. As you can see here, we pulled up customer 1 for reconstruction, and then we can find the appropriate invoice and select that. Once you select that, the information will flow down into the grid for your customer payment. The next one is submitting vendor payments after creation. Now this is non-system check payments, vendor payments. So we're in bulk vendor payment creation, and I'm doing ACH payments or something that's not a system check. I definitely want to hit that submit payments after creation option under transaction options, because if you don't do that, your payments won't be in submitted status. They'll be in use, and you're going to have to go in and submit them individually. And you don't want to do that. You might have 100 payments on this list. So you see we're in a submitted status right now, and that we're ready to post. So we can post those all at once. Separate billing and revenue posting options for fixed price options. So this is under financials, invoicing and posting, our billing and revenue posts. So this is a little more of a somewhat recent enhancement, and we are able to select one or the other checkboxes here to post billable fixed price or fixed price revenue. And so when we run that based on our criteria, then we can complete the billing and revenue post. Copy function. So this again is available many areas in the system. So in this example, we're showing you in our cost reports. I'm sure you're cheering because you know that we can copy cost reports. You can just hit that copy icon, change the name of it, and then edit it to your heart's content, and you have that starting point already rather than building from scratch. The delete icon, and you see we have a delete all highlighted here. So in this example, we are in a project and we are on the assignments list. And again, we could delete a single item with the trash can icon, but we could do all. It used to be a double X instead of a trash can in the upper left corner. Just be careful. You see, we get a message that says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Deep linking is our next trick. So this is embedding a unique URL, for example, a link to a specific report or a specific site in an email. So we would copy the link and then go into, in this case, we're in our email reminders, and then, put in your message, put in the link, and save that. So that's called deep linking. That's also in the Knowledge Center on how to do that. Broadcast messages. Again, system administrators have access here, so we can send a broadcast message, to get information out to everybody or maybe only specific people. This is in the email admin setup, miscellaneous email reminders. So we would put our criteria in here and preview or save, and then we want to schedule that to when we want it to go out. And again, preview or save there. Our blue circle arrows replace the double arrows that used to be here. That was in 10.3. 11.0 has the circles and the same functionality here. Select some or all of the available items and click that blue circle arrow to move it back and forth. Contact management. So we have really high usage of this, again, internally. Contact management is available. You go to the organizations, then contacts, and we are in the list here. We can see all of our various contacts, and we have various fields to choose from. Adding a contact, we can make a contact inactive. We also have user-defined fields. Look at that. There's 20 now. There used to only be 10. All over Unanet, all of our user-defined fields now have 20 available fields. So our example for those in the contact management, you can really put whatever you want here. You can, if you're having a function for all of your customers and you want to give everybody a t-shirt, maybe put their t-shirt size in here or something. It just really is whatever you want to do with it. And as you see here, we can do date, a pick list, all kinds of options here on the type of data that's in your field. How about some 11.0 tips and tricks? I know you want some of these. This one I love. So I happen to be in the vendor invoice and accounts payable, and I've put in my account, but you see that I can't really see all of it, right? The field isn't big enough. Well, guess what? Now it can be. You can drag that column over and make it the size that you need to see all of the information. We can also click our column headings to sort in various areas. I hope you know that in the customer invoice, this is already available before 11.0, but it's available in, for example, the vendor invoice as we're matching our labor on our purchase orders. We can click the column heading to sort it and put it in whatever order we need to there. Dragging and dropping multiple files. Okay, so in a Chrome browser, we can, pull in, drag and drop, as you see there on the screen, and use the control click if we need to select more than one, and drag them over. And you see once we've done that, then you see the file name. This is in our shared documents area in 11.0. Now, if I'm in Microsoft Edge, I can still bring in multiple files. I can't drag them, but I can select them from the screen using my control key and bring them in and get the same result there. Now, also, if you are using Chrome for your browser, there are several areas where we haven't built in the function specifically, but you're still going to be able to drag and drop. So here you see we're in a journal entry in Chrome, and we can just drag that right in. And there it is. Another great tip in 11.0 for those users who have a classification of non-employee PO. So these are your subcontractors who you always want them to use a PO. You're going to give them a classification of non-employee PO and have them enter their time into Unanet. They won't see the PO number as they're entering the time while it's in use. However, while it's in use, they can go to that review button at the bottom of the timesheet, and here you see that they can see the purchase order number. Also in 11.0, with our purchasing functionality, our purchase requester can see their PRs on the home and the purchasing dashboard. So we see the status right there is approving. Also, a new role in 11.0, the AP manager. This is someone that you would want to approve your vendor invoices. Different from the AP poster who's posting, but maybe you have somebody out in the field who you want to approve for their division. Those vendor invoices coming through, they can also see those pending approvals on their dashboard. Wow, that was a lot of tips and tricks. I hope you enjoyed our tips and tricks segment today. Thanks for joining us.